This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So the first thing coming to this particular resume preparation, there is some standard in the industry. Okay, so first we should understand that standard market dynamics before you upload your resume or you prepare your resume. So the industry standard in for SAP SD module is you should have at least 4 years of experience. If you are not certified, or if you are not from the campus placement, let's say after 5 years experience, after 10 years experience, at the age of 30, 35, when you're applying for a job in SAP without certification, with some consultancy experience, you should put at least 4 years of experience. Okay, this is the cutoff generally they check in the profile, and you should have 4 projects. Okay, at least 4 projects, right? And out of these 4 projects, 2 projects should be implementation and 2 projects should be of support. Okay, 2 projects implementation and 2 projects should be in support. So this is the general, like what we call as a criteria or a standard in the industry, what they check before they go through the profile. See, directly HR or company will not call you. Who will call you? Recruiters will call you first, right? So who will give the requirement to the recruiters? HRs. How the HRs get the requirements? From the project managers, right? When they have an opportunity in the project, the project manager will inform the HR saying that I need a person with this much experience and this is the skill sets. So he will mention, I want a consultant with SD 4 years experience, implementation project, SD 4 years consultant, implementation project, along with, let's say it can be IDOCS, it can be LE, it can be anything. Like this, they'll mention some skill sets. You should be good in pricing, you should be good in credit management, you should be good in copy controls like this. They will be mentioning lots of skill sets and they'll give the profile to the HR. In turn, HR will forward this profile to recruiters. Recruiters are dummy. They don't know anything about SAP. They're just dummy. They get requirement, they go to the portal and they search. What they search? They search with these keywords. So these are keywords. SAP SD 4 years consultant with IDOC, LE, credit management. These all are keywords. With that, they'll search in the portal. When they search in the portal, your resume will be appearing, right? So recruiters are trained to screen the resumes. See, you might be listening. Many of your friends might be telling you, "I'm getting calls, but interviews are not getting scheduled." Why? Why? When you get calls, interview also should get scheduled, right? But why interviews are not scheduling? The reason is there might be something mistake you are doing in the profile. That's the reason you are not getting a call. Recruiter is calling. They're not happy with your profile, so they're not scheduling the interview. So, what details generally recruiters check before they call? They check whether your resume looks little authentic, legit or not. Just tell me, will I use such an email ID? Let's say my name is Praveen, praveen.sapsd@gmail.com. Will I use this kind of email ID to communicate with my family or friends? Anyone? Or praveen.erp.sd@gmail.com. Will I use such a kind of email ID to communicate with families and friends? We don't, right? That means you purposefully created an email or a profile for this job, right? So don't do these mistakes. Don't do these mistakes. Don't create an email ID which looks like this, where recruiters will straight away throw your resume into trash, right? So instead of that, create some legit resume, legit email if you want to go with a new profile. Okay. And other thing, first thing today after the session you need to do is deactivate your profile in all the job portals. Now, Monster, it can be anything, Dice. If people people are from US, from DICE. So deactivate your profile first. I hope you cannot delete your profile, but you can only hibernate it. So put deactivate, because by the time we finish the training and by the time you prepare resume and you upload, all the results will be vanished from the search. Your resume will be fresh. Because if they search, if you are a sales manager with 5 years experience now, 5 years sales manager, 4 years SAP, with your name and phone number, email ID, system will show 2 profiles. They'll throw into trash these kind of profiles, right? So first deactivate your profile today. And if you want to mention some new email ID, then create an email ID which looks legit for yourself. Don't create like say Praveen, don't write all the phone number, right, at Gmail. Don't do it like this. So hide your first name, shorten your first name. Okay, I'll just write it as Praveen D. I don't tell what is D, right? So do like that. Okay. Whatever you want, like, but create it which looks legit. This is what they check. Recruiters are trained to screen the resumes, because it's waste of their time, right? Calling a chunk of 100 people every day, it's a waste of time. So by just seeing the resume, they can know whether you are legit or not. Okay, that's what they check, whether your email ID, your name, your phone number, whatever you mentioned is looking legit or not. Then next they check for 4 years experience. I'm talking about India. If anyone from US you want to apply, Adil or Shika or any other from US, you need at least 6 years of experience in US. If you're already in SAP, that's fine. If you want to apply for SAP now from a different profile, you need minimum 6 years and up to 5 to 6 projects you need to put. Right. So if you have any questions, you can come back to me later on your profile. So to how you do it with the others, I hope you are already tied up with some consultancies. They will market your profile. If apart from that, if you want to know something, let me know. But in India, I'm talking about this for 4 years with 4 projects out of the 2 implementation and 2 support projects. Right. This should be the basics you need to take care. Right. So how
Praveen, your voice is breaking, Praveen.
my voice is not clear.
No, your voice is breaking.
Yeah,
Just a moment,
it's
let me
fine.
try with another headset. Just a moment. There is some issue since a couple of days.
Your voice is fine for me, Praveen.
Oh, it's fine for you?
Yeah.
Also fine for me, sir.
Okay. Can you please exit and
Yeah,
come
it's
back?
fine.
Whoever it is not good, just rejoin quickly. Okay. Let's go ahead. So this is what a recruiter will do. Recruiter will first search in the portals and find some 10 to 15 profiles. Once they get 15-20 profiles, they start calling and ask you whether you are still available or you'll be looking to work. What is your company? These all things, some basic details they will take. With that, they'll come to a conclusion, okay, whether to schedule interview or not. Because if they schedule an interview, you don't perform or you fail it or you find out they're fake, it's not good for the recruiting company also. So they ask you a couple of details, okay, from when you're working in a company, some basic details to schedule the interview. First thing they'll ask you, what is your company name? You obviously tell the consultancy name, the on rolls. Then they'll check in their list. They will be having their own blacklist companies. In that, they'll check the company name which you mentioned. If it's not available, okay, they'll schedule an interview. If it is scheduled, they'll never again come back to you. Right? So let me show you a sample resume and discuss on that line so that it will be easy for you to understand how to prepare your profile.
Sir, should we attach the photo?
No, never do that. No photo, no address, no gender, no material status. You don't need anything. Your interview is on SAP 4 years experience. That's it. No achievements, no hobbies, nothing, no strengths, weakness, nothing. Okay.
Sir, I
So,
already have a account in Naukri.com. Should I delete that with photo, sir?
you cannot delete. As I told you, you can hibernate it. Like you can suppress the profile for time being. Okay. Delete the photo. You don't need a photo. Why you need a photo? It's not a government job.
Okay, sir.
So take out the photo. Right. So you'll be writing all these things in header. The title of the document, say resume. The title of the document, resume, and you'll be mentioning your name, and you'll be writing your designation, SAP, SD, consultant, and email and the phone number. Right, email and phone number. Right, this should be at the header level. And always talk about the present. They are not at all interested knowing about your past education experiences, your experience or your education, your achievements. Even though you are from IITs or from B schools, they don't mind. It's nothing. It's not going to help them in any way in a SAP job. So they don't mind it whether you're IIT or you're IIM. So whatever they are scheduling an interview, that is only for the SAP SD. Right? So always talk about the present and showcase your SAP experience more. Even though if you are a 15 years manager, this doesn't matter. Maybe 5% this may matter, but 95% will be your SAP SD. So focus on SAP SD. Don't focus on your past experiences. Right? So having 4.2 years of experience in ERP, SAP SD, that means the present, talking about the present, and then you can showcase your overall experience, let's say 10 years like this. And you should mention worked on two, and see, don't go with exact the resume, do some modifications. I'll send you some 10 different samples. You mix, match, take whatever you want. Okay. And 50% of your job you can get through your resume itself. Because the first challenge is getting a call. Once you got a call, you need to schedule the interview. If it is scheduled, obviously you'll perform, right? If not in one interview, other interview you will definitely perform. But first, to schedule an interview, you need to really, like say, it may go up to telephonic interview, sometimes may go up to 20 minutes, 30 minutes as well, right? So first, prepare your resume very, very well. Whatever you mention in the resume, you are liable for that. So don't mention something which you cannot defend or you cannot manage. If you don't need something, if you don't know something, take it out. If you don't know background jobs, there is no mandatory that you should put it. You are putting something in the resume means you are liable for that, and you are poking the interview to ask a question on that. Remember. So, but you cannot delete some very important things like say RISEF or debugging, or you cannot delete these things. But some like say variant configuration, you don't know, take it off. There's no purpose saying that you should mention rebates or you should mention automatic packing, handling units. Nothing. You don't need to really put all these things, because no one get a chance to work in all this area with 4 or 5 years of experience. But how to showcase that, I'll tell you. Right. So as an SD as a functional consultant, what is very, very important, that is integrations. Right. So you can mention you worked on two end-to-end implementations and 2 support projects, and you have very good hands-on experience on integrations, and which ticketing tool you are working. If you wish, you can mention. If not, you can leave it like this. And throughout the resume, the font should be same, the size should be same. Don't use italics, use only bold, and that too very sparingly, like this. Very sparingly use the bold. Don't completely make the document as bold. Or italic, don't use the italic at all. Okay. If you want to highlight something, do it only through bold. So remedy ticketing tool, and you can mention, like, if you have the experience on analysis and issues and customizing and implementation. As I mentioned, if you're not able to defend a line, remove it. Right? Experience involves implementation, production support, development. If you can defend, let it be. If not, remove it. Right? So just go through this. This should be professional summary talking about 5 to 6 lines. This should give a gist of yourself to the interviewer. Okay, tell me, once you go to the interview with your resume, you just given the resume to the interviewer, you have taken your seat. How much time you will have to impress the interviewer? Anyone? In an interview room, how much time you have once handovering the resume to the interviewer? How much time you will have to to impress the interviewer?
So the first 5-10 minutes are very crucial.
First 5-10 minutes.
Are very
Others?
crucial.
Anyone? Hardly, very, very hardly, you will have 30 seconds.
2 minutes.
30 seconds to 1 minute. You don't have much more than that. Why? Because your resume itself should be very soothing for him. I'll show you one resume, just a moment, but she's very experienced. Let me show you a resume. Just see that. Don't make your resume clumsy. Interviewers will be irritated by seeing those things. See, I show you a document. You tell me your opinion, whether it is very soothing for your eyes or you are irritated by seeing that. Yeah, you see this resume. So how does this resume looks? Is it as soothing as this resume, or this is fine for you to see? How is it? Paragraphs, right? Continuous paragraphs. So an interviewer cannot read these all things. He don't have that much time, and he cannot understand what is this. See this resume, right? He can understand. He cannot go through all these things. So the first 1 minute itself is very crucial for you to give some impression on you. That means what is your experience, what projects you work, what areas you work, and what integration knowledges you have. You see, but this resume, with this 6 or 7 lines, he can get an understanding on you. That is, you have 4.2 years of experience, you're an SD consultant, you work to end-to-end implementations and support, you have good knowledge on integrations, you worked on remedy ticketing tool, you know functional you can translate the business requirements to functional requirements, you know RISEF, IDOCs. See, it should give a simple, like hardly within a minute. He cannot read these all things. He cannot completely go through every word, and he cannot read these all things, right? So to impress an interviewer, you will have hardly a minute. And who is that interviewer? Maybe 2 years before. You are going to the industry in 2018. He joined company in 2016. Same fake candidate. He might also gone through the same fake, putting 4 years, and he is taking interviews for you today. So he knows how people enter into the industry, right? So he'll try to play with you a little in the initial first 5 minutes to find out whether you're real or fake. Once he get the confidence, then the interviewer will be a little serious. Then they'll focus on concepts and everything. So don't worry, interviewer means he is not a 20 years experience or something. Whoever is on bench, or for that time being, whoever is free, he will take the interviewer. Okay, he might be 5 years experience, he might be 10 years experience. Whoever is free at that moment, he will take the interview. That's it. So he may not be much greater than you, or he don't know much greater than you. So don't worry about the interviewer who takes your interview. So mention this all things, the technical details. Yeah.
Yeah, should I mention that the project details also, like the name of the project?
We'll come back. We'll come there. Okay. So this is professional summary. Try to have your professional summary. Don't write any objective. So you don't need an objective saying that seeking a challenging career, challenging job. Where can I learn? I can contribute to the company. No one is impressed or expecting that from you in any company, right? So don't put those kind of lines or objectives. Okay. So just start with your professional summary. This should itself give a punch to the interviewer. Then show your skill set, SD skill set. Start from the same chronological order what we are learning. Why? Because your interviewer also learned the SAP concepts the same way. In our study material, we have an index, right? Starting is enterprise structure, starting is SAP methodology, support, then after enterprise structure, customer master, middle master, CMIR. Your interviewer also learned the same way. So see, we know means we will be happy to see something. So your interviewer also will be happy to see this. So start with, first is integrations. That's the reason you need to highlight it. Then after, tell your good in SAP methodology, enterprise structures, master data, documents. Then come to basic functions and start talk about pricing and these all things. So don't stuff keywords. Don't stuff skill sets. Remember. So for the purpose of you need to mention some skill set or a role, you don't do it. Okay. Mention everything as if you have done, you know everything about it. And your skill sets also should be like you need to segregate that like this, because as I mentioned, no one can be 100% perfect, right? You can never be good at all the things. Familiar, knowledge, good, extensively, adequate. See these terminologies. See these terminologies: adequate, extensively, good configuration knowledge, knowledge on, familiar. So you should put your skill sets this way. It's not that just stuffing or putting concepts like this. Don't mention like pricing, revenue account, availability check. What to do with these all concepts? So if you mention pricing, you know, right, how much is there in the pricing? What interviewer will think? He will think that, okay, you know everything in pricing. If you put credit management, he thinks that, okay, you know everything in credit management, right? So don't mention only concepts like this. You need to stress on some points. How do you stress? Like this: I'm familiar with the SAP methodology. I have good knowledge on master data, and I have good configuration knowledge on SIM. It can be anything, but use these terminologies to showcase your experience. Good configuration knowledge, extensively involved in requirement gatherings or workshops, adequate knowledge. What is this adequate knowledge? That means, as I mentioned, there might be some advanced concepts. It can be debugging, it can not debugging. Debugging is part of your role. It can be batch management, it can be rebates, variant configuration, it can be status profile, or anything it is, which you may not be getting opportunity to work at 4 years or 5 years. For that, you can mention adequate knowledge. That means you never get a chance to work on this concept, but you have knowledge. Given a chance, I can work. You ask me questions, I will answer. But I never worked on this, but I know the concepts. You ask me a question, I'll tell you. That is adequate knowledge. So highlight or segregate your skill sets like this. They will be impressed and they can easily know that. See, when I say familiar, what do he expect? Okay, you know, touch and go kind of things, if not to the complete detail. But if you say extensively involved in SAP methodology, you tell me what is the difference? Familiar, extensively. What do an interviewer think? When you say extensively, he thinks that, okay, you know in and out of that concept, right? But you say familiar, he thinks that, okay, you know sparingly some concept, touch and go kind of thing, right? So now then he will know that what questions to be asked. So segregate your skill sets like this. Don't stuff the concepts. For the purpose, it should be here. As I'm repeating again, if you mention some word here, you are liable to defend it. Okay, you should answer for that. So don't stuff the keywords or don't stuff the concepts. Pricing, don't just put pricing here, or don't tell that I worked on condition technique. Everyone works on condition technique. So what's great about you if you work in condition technique, right? So what's great about you? You worked on header conditions, you worked on group conditions, you worked on condition supplement, condition update, condition exclusion, condition index. See, we have these many concepts to showcase yourself. So even this is wrong here. Don't mention like this. You put a line, one more line here, like say pricing, and in pricing hyphen, then write worked on header conditions, group conditions, condition update, supplement, write all these terms. Then they'll be impressed. They'll come to a conclusion what level of knowledge you have in pricing. So many times it happened. This is the same thing I tell, and every of my trainees do the same thing. Interviewer never will appreciate, right? What they do once the interview is done, okay, great, we'll call back you later, or we'll touch back later, right? But interviewers has appreciated my trainees saying that your knowledge on pricing is exceptional, or your knowledge on credit management is exceptional, right? Because we showcase it like that. So when you have that knowledge, why do you just say I worked on only on condition technique, or why do you say only on pricing? Showcase that knowledge, right? So this is what you need to do with this. Okay, and 80% of your profile, everything will be SD. 80% is SD. Only 20% comes, whether it can be debugging, whether it can be IDOCs, LSMW, whatever the topic you talk about. It it is only 20%. 80% is business process and SD. Be perfect with these two. You are done with it. You are done. You will be getting a job. Okay. So this is
hello.
yeah.
So if in my case I don't want to put this idocs LSMW BDS background job, then
This one, yeah, Rishi. This individual questions we'll take it later, or you can call me later. Okay.
okay. And,
Anyone, individual profile questions we'll discuss later.
fine.
First, let me
Fine, sir.
finish off in overview. Let me finish off in the overall overview. Later, we can discuss on individual questions. Okay. So this is your skill sets. Any extra skill sets you have, you can mention. It can be logistics execution, anything. If you are already trained in S4 HANA, you can mention already taken training on S4 HANA. If you are certified, put the certification associate logo here, but don't put your photograph. Okay. Don't do that. Mention only associate that SAP logo, whatever they will give you. And don't talk about your education in the first page or second page. Your education should be in the last page. As I mentioned, your job is only on SAP S4. Your job is only on SAP SD. Your job is not on your graduation or your post graduation. So they don't mind about that. So put it at the last. Once after the professional summary and skill sets, then comes the employment history. Okay, so skill sets, you can mention whatever skill sets you want. If you are already in ABAP technical, you can mention technical skill sets. If you are already S4 HANA consultant or you learned S4 HANA, you can mention S4 HANA. Any skill set apart from is this, if you have relevant SAP. Okay, don't mention Informatica or something. SAP experiences. Then after comes is employment history. Whatever you are seeing here, they are dummy. Don't try to take these companies. They are dummy companies. Okay, these are dummy clients. Don't take these clients. Okay. Then comes the employment history. So you mention, so same chronological order, present to past. Present to past. What's the present company you're working with, and what is the previous company, and what is your domain experience, whatever it is, how many companies you work, that means employment history, and from which year to which year you worked. Let's say in this company I worked from 2016 to 2018 and 2014 to 2016. Let's say 2011 to 2016 you are in this company. Like this, just mention which company you're working, and see, don't mention the location. Capgemini might be in 100 locations. Don't give location. Just mention Capgemini India Private Limited. That's it. Don't tell whether it is in Embassy Park, Bangalore, or don't mention it is in Raheja, Hyderabad. Don't do that. Don't give a location of your company. Okay. If they ask you, then you tell it. Okay. Don't even mention whether it's Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai. Don't mention even that. Okay. If they ask you, tell them which location, then you tell the location. If not, forget about the location. Okay. But you need to know that. Definitely sometimes they ask this. Because when you say Capgemini, which location? What is the address? Right? So be perfect with these questions. I'll tell you anyway those things. Then next comes the projects. Chronological order. What is the current project you're working with this company? Projects. So which organization you're working? So as I mentioned, let me just check who all joined. Okay. Yeah. So obviously, as I told you, first question the recruiter when they call or when you go to the interview, they'll ask you, okay, great, IBM, you are permanent or you are contract. When you say contract, obviously they'll ask you what is your consultancy or on-roll company or the company which you are working now. So when they ask that, you'll be telling that name, right? So they'll check in the database and they'll try to schedule it. So don't mention your on-roll company here. Choose one company or two companies. Let's say you take IBM. In the portal, in the job portals, Naukri or everything, you can put companies in negative. That means if you don't want to get calls from some companies, you can put that company in negative. So if you want to put IBM in your resume, saying that you are working in IBM since last 4 years or Wipro, just mark that company as negative in the portal so that you will not get calls from that company related. Okay, but choose it very wisely which company to choose, and because Don't choose companies like Accenture or don't choose companies like IBM because they have opportunities. But TCS, Capgemini, their Tech Mahindra, their recruiting process are very, very stringent. It's very hard to get into those companies if you are with the consultancy experience. Choose those kind of companies, okay? Or else, from wherever you're taking the documents, talk to him, what all the companies he can manage. Sorry, they'll give you a list, what companies they can handle, what companies they cannot handle. So if he's saying that I cannot handle this company, okay, put that company as your work company. Right, so what projects, so which organization you're working, IBM, from which period to which period, the tenure, and client, the client name, what is your role, whether project is implementation or support, and a little description of customer, hardly 2 lines, 3 lines, don't go anything beyond that, and roles and responsibility of your job for that project. Okay, how do you get these clients? How do you get these clients? My best suggestion for you is, I hope everyone will have at least one friend in SAP, right? Let it be any module. It can be in SD, MMPP, FI, APO, S4HANA, any module. Talk to him, take his projects, whatever the company he's working for. That's the best possible way, because see, it may go smooth on initially, okay? So you got a job, you joined, everything is smooth. Later, after 1 year, they want to fire you. Then what they do? They again run a background check. Anyone from TCS in this batch?
Yeah, yes, Praveen.
Hi Satya. I hope in TCS they run background check every year, right? Or for every client, whenever you get a project.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
When we change the project, they have.
Yeah, for every project they run it, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so it's not smooth for at least first 2 years, 3 years. You get settled down, all the dust is settled, right? So, if in the next background check, maybe you change the project after 1 year or hike, if they run, they may put a clause saying that, because see, normal verification already happened. Why they need to check the same thing? So they may put some extra points, some extra clause, that is, check whether this project has been implemented by this company or not. If it is implemented, whether it is implemented in this period or not. What happens then? If you take some client projects very vaguely and just put it in the resume, you may have chance that after 1 year you may get fired, right? See, what we are trying to do is we are trying to do our homework, not even a single stone unturned, right? We want to do our own homework first before going to the interview. If something goes wrong, okay, let us leave it for the luck, but you should not ignore when you know something, this may happen, right? So my best suggestion is, if you find out your friends in SAP and take their company and what the projects they have done and put exactly the same tenure and the same company and client. Any question on this, anyone? If you don't have friends, I'll
Sir,
give you two
yes.
suggestions. Just a moment,
So,
Annapurna. Just a moment.
so
We used to have one option, but I hope they removed it. SAP made them to remove it actually. Just a moment. We used to have a site called as sapendusers.com. The site is not available now. This site, SAP has removed and made them to remove this website. There is a website, SAP End Users. In this website, you can find out all the customers who are implementing SAP. In India, what all the companies are running on SAP, we used to have a complete list. But SAP very recently make them to delete this website. So they have removed it. So what is the option now? What's the option now? Okay, I'll tell you one or two other options. Just try that way. The last option I'll tell you, that is coming to me. Okay, you can reach me, but that is the last option. Put it for the last, because I may give the same clients to everyone. Right? So use my last, that as my reaching me as a last option. Do your homework, I'll tell you why. Because I want everyone to have your own different profiles. I don't want even two people have the same profile. So do this way. First, try to find
Hi,
out.
Praveen.
Yeah. Who's this? This time.
Uh, Praveen,
Hari,
Hari.
go ahead.
Praveen, is companies gonna verify the tech ERP systems there in the company or not? In the background check, they're gonna check whether the company is using SAP or not, or
See, we need to know one thing. Which company will share their internal information? Will you share?
no,
No.
no, nobody.
No. See, if I ask you what job you are doing, you will say I'm a software engineer. Will you tell me
Yes,
like what is your basics, what is your HRA, what tax you are paying?
no,
Don't
no.
tell me, right? So
Yeah,
these are internal things. So no company will share their internal client details or what projects they are doing because it's their internal security, that purpose, right? They don't
yeah,
disclose. But there is a common understanding in the industry that there should be a portal or a helpline where any company can reach any company to check whether this person has worked in your company or not. That's only the thing they do. What right a background check or a company can have is whether you worked in that company or not in that year or not. That's it. They cannot check whether you worked in that project or not. Okay.
okay,
But with some sources they can find internally. See, you are if you're in the industry. I'll tell you a simple example. In my S4 HANA batch, I have two people. One is very senior person, 18 years experience SAP architect from US, and the other guy who worked with him in Wipro some 4 years back. These two guys are not in touch almost for last 5 years, I can guess. Okay, since last 5 years they are in not. But when he has seen his name in the uh, session, they easily identified each other. SAP is a very small world. Okay, so everyone knows about everything. So they can find through some sources, but you don't need to disclose. Or companies also will not disclose any of their details. Okay, so
okay,
don't worry about that.
yeah.
So
Don't worry about that.
Praveen, I have one question.
Ramesh, go ahead.
Hello.
Go
Actually,
ahead.
just before you said, company only do the background verification, like this people, this guy is worked in that company or not, like that, right?
Mhm,
Huh?
mhm.
Actually, as already discussed with you, I am not from that SAP background. Actually, I am in a different domain and working in a different company. I'm going to get project from one of my friend who is working
Okay.
in SAP, like that.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah.
condition,
As I
what
mentioned,
is
yeah, as I mentioned, Ramesh, these individual questions we'll take it in the last or in private. We can talk because I don't
yeah.
want to I don't want to disclose your names or your companies or projects, whatever we want to discuss. I don't want to disclose. As I
Okay.
already mentioned, SAP is a very small world. I don't want to share your identities.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, any individual profile discussion or whatever it is, you can call me. We have another 20 days of training. You can reach me, I can guide you. But this first get into the concept like how to prepare your profile resume and everything. Right? See, one best thing you can do is try to find out what all the companies we have in SAP. How many companies you know? Okay, I know IBM, I know Wipro, I know TCS. Like this, write a list. Let's say you know 20 companies. 20 companies. Okay, I'm not going to these big companies because I don't want this, but I'll tell you one other company. Zensar Tech, okay, or AG Global. AG Global or let me check. AG Global or there is some company. Okay, Zensar. Like this. Try to find out very small companies, which is in Hyderabad, Pune, or very small companies. Okay, go to that website. See, when I say small companies, I'm comparing with Capgemini or TCS. Okay, these companies also might be doing $1 million business, but when I say small, I'm comparing this with the Capgemini. So find out such a small companies like that. Go to their website. Zensar Tech. There is a company. Sensor. Yeah. Go to this or go to some. What are the company you know? Hexaware. So when you go to these websites, what generally they do is they display their clients. Okay. Maybe by industry or let me check if they disclosed or not. Uh, Solutions, services, insights, media. Hello. Sorry, there is some audio lost in between. Network lost, I guess. You guys can hear me, right? You know? Can
Yes,
someone confirm?
yes,
You
sir.
can hear me. Okay. Yes. So there are some companies like this. Sometimes they disclose their clients in the websites. ITB, Resource Center, Careers, Corporate Overview, or well, no. Okay, AG Technologies.
Hexaware is a big company, sir.
What is that?
Hexaware is a big company.
Yeah, Excel is a big company. So I'm just trying to show you. Yeah, you see, some companies generally what they do is they disclose their clients like this. Our customers go to their company and check. Take the company name. Okay. Now you can put your company where you work, AG Technologies, and which client you worked. Just see which you can mention. You have an option, and that client you mention it. This is one way where you can get the clients. The first way is this, and the other way you can do is, yeah, this is only the way I guess the way I can do. So again, if you want to check some company, okay, which company, if we have that website, that would be a very good thing actually. SAP end users, it is down.
Sir,
Okay, website is
ONGC,
down. Which one? ONGC.
ONGC huge, sir. It's a government
No,
company.
don't mention those kind of clients. They are very big company, and see, majority of the people might be knowing who has done those implementations. So you need to choose very small companies which even you should not know it. You should wonder by seeing it. I don't know what is this Fino, right? Many of us may not be knowing what is this Fino, right? So you should take something like that. The interviewers or recruiters should not have knowledge about the customers. So how to take that? This is one way. That is only the last option left with me to share with you. That is, first try to find out someone who can, your friend who can give the projects in which the company is working, or try to find out some companies like this and go to their website and check if they have clients. Try to take it from there. This is how you can get the clients. Okay. Once you get the client, mention the description, and depending upon the customer, you write your these roles and responsibilities. I will share you some close to 10-15 resumes like this, more than 10-15. Go through those resumes, try to understand everything, and then prepare your resume. Start with your resume. Okay, don't straight away do it. I have close to 7 different skill sets in a single document. You choose and take whatever skill set you want to put it. Okay, some 7 to 8 skill set are there here. You can use those.
Sir,
Right.
sir, I have a question, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, these company take our UN number? Because if I'm not doing any job, then my PF or GPF is not deducting. So the background check
Hmm.
is.
See, as of now, you have still option to get into the industry. When a company is asking a bank statement, when a company is asking something like that, don't go to the company.
Tax.
Obviously, you cannot produce the documents, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So ignore those kind of companies. That is the same companies which you need to mention in the resume. And
Okay.
there are another 1,000 companies which are ready to give you a job without any of these documents. Keep that in mind. Okay. Your target should not be always Capgemini or TCS, Infosys, because they are very stringent in this documentation. So choose some other 1,000 companies which are ready to give you an offer basing upon some basic documentation, because you will be outperforming in the interviews. When you outperform in the interview, they don't mind about the documents. They mind about the documents, but they may not be asking you bank statement or PFs or these all things.
Form 16.
Accenture or Capgemini, they are asking you to bring your PAN card while coming to the interview. Anyone faced this?
Yes, sir.
Already you faced it, right? Aadhaar also some days they may ask you.
What is it
Sir,
they're asking?
Form 16,
ask
sir.
for
Civil
Form
tax.
16.
Yeah, they're asking to get the tax document or a tax ID when you're coming to the interview itself. right?
So,
So
we can say that we can say that we don't want to share our tax things. Why should
you
we?
cannot tell like that. You cannot tell like that. Okay. Simply they'll tell you, okay, then leave. What you do,
Okay. No.
right? Never hurt the ego of a interviewer. Remember.
Okay.
Okay.
Praveen,
Never.
will you be
Yeah.
helping me with the consultants who gives this document in there? Genuine people who knows, who you know.
As I told you, anything like this, you can talk in private. You can call me or you can text me.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Not on a recording session.
Sir, also when we attend the call from a recruiter, she asks for Skype ID. Should I share or not?
You can share, no problem, because sometimes a Skype interviews also maybe happen, right?
Okay, sir.
So, see, you can share certain things. Without sharing those things, you cannot proceed. They will also not be proceeding because for sure they'll sit on that. I want this. If you give, I'll schedule the next round. If not, just leave. You will be losing it, right? So, some
Yes,
in
sir.
US they're obviously asking the LinkedIn now. In India, they're not asking. But in US, first moment they call, they ask you the LinkedIn ID. But in here, they're not asking anyway. But don't worry, don't worry.
What if we
So, yeah, yeah, has it? What's that?
what if we don't provide LinkedIn?
Yeah,
How can we
it's up
avoid
to
that?
you. See, it's up to you. In US, okay, you can say straight away, I cannot give. But in India, if you say I cannot give, then they say simple, okay, you can leave then. Why to hide, right? When everything is going good, why to hide, right?
How does
So
how does it?
as of date, there is no situation like this. So don't worry about that. You may or may not arise these kind of situations, but you be, as I told you, we don't want to leave a single stone unturned. Let us prepare 100% our profile. If something happens bad, let it happen. But hope for the best all the time. Right. So
Sir,
roles and
when
responsibility, mention all the projects. Project number 4 is the current project which you are working in 2018. And the next project, the next project, the next project. This is the first project you started working. So this is the first project in 2014. Let's say if you are putting 4 years. At that time, your designation should be SAP SD consultant. When it comes to the second project, it should be third project, you should be SD consultant, right? And your first project and your fourth project should be implementation, and your second project and third project should be support. Okay, second and third should be support. First and fourth should be implementation. Because don't put any support, don't put implementation in the present project. You mention only support. They will ask tickets. I'll give you tickets. Just tell them. That's it. If you put implementation, there are no implementations in the market now. Even though you have implementations, they'll be asking lots of questions. So to avoid that, just put support.
If I put the rollout project,
See, why you need to take a chance? If you know in and out of rollout, you can mention. They'll ask you what templates you created, how you exported data, lots of things they'll ask you. So when you know it, you can mention for sure. If you don't know it, just leave it.
okay, sir.
Okay? Yeah. So this is what the complete resume should be like this, and write 1 or 2 lines of your existing job. Sorry, not the existing job, domain, whether you're sales manager or whatever it is, and give your education qualification. Don't give percentages or year of pass, nothing. Just mention what is your master's and from which university, bachelor's from which university. That's it. No declaration, no address, no marital status, no date of birth, nothing. Don't even give a declaration. Mark my word, don't give declarations. Okay? So don't write anything
it's
and
mandatory. Is
what's
it
that?
mandatory to provide that domain experience? Sir?
Yeah, mandatory. What you're doing other 6 years, when you say 10 years of experience, you told 4 years is SAP, then what you're doing in other 6 years, right? So they should know, right? So you just mention only 3 or 4 lines, don't put it in more, 3 or 4 lines,
Sir,
education qualification,
If
just
I
give it back.
mention 4 years experience, then no need to put functional experience, right? Functional domain experience, like sales
You don't need to
experience.
mention. If your total experience itself is 4 years and you're showing all the 4 years in SAP, no domain experience.
And cross
So one more
ERP, sir.
question.
So cross.
What's that?
Yeah. It
Cross?
means that. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
What's that?
Sir,
Anyone? Rishi, go ahead.
yes, sir. So if I have an experience, but not in SAP, maybe in PeopleSoft or in coding, then I will
Uh,
provide
whatever it is,
details.
domain means whatever it is, whether it can be marketing experience or any other experience, whatever it is,
And
apart
even
from 4 years SAP.
okay, and even I don't provide my passport number, address, nothing
See,
after
as I
education.
mentioned, don't give anything. No need.
Okay,
If you are in US, just write a one word like references will be provided on request. That's it.
oh,
If you're in US, just write a word. References can be provided on request. That's it. You don't need to mention your passport, date of birth, nothing. Don't mention anything.
it means education qualification is the last thing.
That's the last. Stop with this.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So just a moment, Annapurna. So this is what the basic, the layout of your resume and how you should put your resume and everything. As it is already 8:50, I cannot proceed now. But tomorrow, another 15 minutes, we'll have the same discussion. I need to tell you and show you something more that we'll do it tomorrow. Today it may not be possible. The time is already done. So now you can go ahead. Any questions? Whatever we have discussed so far.
Sir, tomorrow at what time we can contact you? I can contact you after 9.
Not after 9. Tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, call me 7 o'clock. Let's see if I'm available 7. Definitely I'll take a call. If not, we'll schedule some other time.
Praveen, one last question, Praveen.
Go ahead, Hari.
Will you be providing any sample resumes to me after the session or something?
To everyone, I'll provide you these many sample resumes.
Which is the best
So
time?
one more question, sir. Sir, like while joining into the company, they'll check designation in that experience letter or not. Like if I have some different designation, they will consider this or not.
I did not get you. So whatever the document you're providing, that's the same designation.
So
See,
I'm
designation is
coming
not
to that.
standard in the industry. Designation is not standard in the industry. It's not that all SAP people should be called as consultants. Some companies call as software engineers. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're going with consulting experience, that is consultancy experience of 4 years or whatever, they know better what to mention. Just take their advice because they are in touch with the industry, right? So they know
Like
better.
if I take the genuine experience letter, then it will be a problem for me, right? So I'm in different domain actually now, so it will be a problem for me,
Don't
right?
take that. Don't take that. First, decide whether you want to go with your experience or whether you want to go with your consultancy experience. First, decide that.
sir, I have domain experience, but I don't have the certificate. Can I?
Usually, they don't ask for certificate on domain. If still they ask you, see, tell them that you're working on some automobile agency as a sales representative or something. Wherever you can get a document, say your brother or your father or brother might be working in some company, right? If they can arrange you some document from a logistics company or from a sales company, that is enough. Domain can be anything. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, is it okay if I say I'm the permanent employee? Because if I say consultant to companies, I should
You
mention
cannot
that
say
there,
permanent.
right?
You cannot say permanent. If you say permanent, the procedure will be different. They'll ask you bank statement. They'll be asking lots of things.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You cannot say permanent. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone?
Sir, may I call you
Sir,
tomorrow?
Yeah. We'll. Yeah. Santosh.
sir,
Best time.
sir, sir, if we have a gap means in resume means
I cannot hear you, Santosh. Your voice is breaking.
until last August I was working. At present I am not working. We will get a job. August
That will
I
discuss
was working as a
one-to-one.
consultant.
Santosh. That you see, that all individual profiles we'll discuss on one-to-one. That is the best thing.
Okay, sir.
Because
Okay.
I need your profile. We'll catch up on Skype or WhatsApp. Okay, we'll sit for
Okay,
5 minutes. One-to-one we'll discuss.
okay, sir.
The next session of resume, the profile will be one-to-one, not in group.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good night, sir.
Praveen, how about those? Yeah, Praveen. How about those companies who doesn't ask for an
I could
experience,
not,
who are
I
okay?
could not see your name. I could not see your
My name is
name.
Srinivas. Srinivas.
Yeah, Srinivas. Go ahead. What is that?
I've been seeing some of the profiles who are not asking for an experience, 0 to 1 year of experience, they are taking it. How about those companies?
Okay.
Is that, do you suggest to join those kind of a companies?
See, definitely I will be suggesting if your two things. One is if your age is less than 28 or 27, right? And you
Okay.
are just in the industry for last 3 or 4 years. Okay.
Okay.
If you are above 30 years and you already have some 5 to 10 years in the industry experience, you don't go for that because they pay, if it is in India, they pay hardly 10,000 to 12,000 per month,
All right.
which you cannot survive, right?
All right.
Because don't undersell yourself, everyone. Don't undersell yourself. If not today, tomorrow, if not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you will be placed with a good package with 4 years experience. Don't worry that, okay, I'm not getting a job. I need to reduce my experience or reduce the projects from 4 to 2. Don't do that mistake. You'll never get a job. Sit. If not in November, you'll get in December. If not December, you'll get in January. If not January, February. Someday you will get a job. Very good opportunity. That would be 8 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Don't undersell yourself for 4 lakhs or 2 lakhs or a fresher job. If there is a huge
But
pressure on you, there is no other opportunity. If you are, okay, you are at least a 27, 26 or 28 age, okay, you go ahead. But if you are more than 32 years age, don't go for that. It would be a very big financial pressure on you.
sir,
Yes, yes. Recording. Can I give you a call back on this number?
Just a moment, today I received one
Yeah, I'll
call.
call you.
Just Haseem, let me. Okay. Yeah. Anyone is already working in SAP 4 years? I received some requirement today. Yeah, you see here. Yes, today I received this. As discussed, the request send me updated resume. See, they are asking ID proof. I just told you, right? They're asking a photo ID proof.
So we are not seeing the
Interviewers.
resume.
Oh, you're now? I shared
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Right? You can see they're asking for the photo ID proof along with the resume.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, see, it's getting harder day by day. So anyone 3-4 years experience, I'll forward this. Just send the resume to this fellow. There is opportunity with them for SAP SDM, SD and MM consultants. Hyderabad location. Anyone interested in Hyderabad location? You can forward the resume. I'll share this. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone?
Yes. Praveen, when is good time to reach you?
Haseem. Hello.
Yeah. When is a good time to reach you, Praveen?
Good time. Yeah, you can reach me anytime. See, I hope you. This batch may not be knowing. When I started this batch, I was blessed with a baby girl. So I was very much occupied with her. That's the reason I could skipping some sessions, not taking on
Congratulations,
time.
Praveen.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Congrats,
much.
Praveen.
So that is like that's the reason I'm skipping some sessions in between when she's crying and I could not take it on time. That's a big issue with me. But you can reach me anytime. See, you put a WhatsApp message. When I'm free, I'll call you back.
So WhatsApp rather than Skype is the best way to initiate.
Skype I'm not using now. Only on WhatsApp.
What's
Yeah, on Skype I'm receiving lots of junk malware links. I'm not using Skype. You can put me a message on WhatsApp. We can schedule some time and we can talk.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone?
Sir, salary means now if we show as a 6 lakh, how much we can expect? Around 30-40% hike, or how much we can expect?
Definitely 40%.
Okay.
If you're already drawing 6, you can ask for 10. They will at least settle for 9.
Okay.
Okay. The industry is very easy. If you know the marketing dynamics, you can play with the industry. That's where people fail and undersell themselves. So there's a. I hope did I told you there is one lady who got in Deloitte. Very 2 months back or sometime. There's one lady who got in Deloitte. So, like, 4 months, she has stick to whatever she wants. That's it.
Yes, sir.
The company was continuously contacting her saying that you please join. But she told, I want 7.5 package. That's it. After 4 months, they offered 7.5 package and they have taken her. So companies will have that amount. If they feel that you are the right candidate, they don't mind paying you little extra.
Was she a fresher?
There is an echo, Hazil.
Is she a fresher in SAP?
No. She was working in a single company since last 5 years. She was in IBM since 5 years.
So she has real experience.
So in IBM, our package was less, only 4 lakhs. So now she asked for 7.5. They told they'll give 6. No. So I asked her to wait. She got in between Infosys offer for 6 lakhs, but still I told her to wait. At last, Deloitte, they have taken her for 7.5, whatever she wants.
I'm asking, like, what is the when a requirement says SAP architect level performance? What?
Architect is a 10 to 12 years above experience. You need to understand the customer's business and put a solution, and a lot of work would be there doing. It's not like a consulting just giving a field-wise solution. So it is like a business process-wise solution. Whether this business process will work for you or not, if it works, how it should be, everything you need to plan for that. Right, I hope it's getting late for someone. We'll discuss another 15 minutes or 20 minutes tomorrow. Then we'll start the first concept of basic functions tomorrow, that is free goods determination. Or else we'll finish free goods determination, maybe within half an hour we'll finish it. Once we finish free goods determination, then we'll take the same session. Still, I need something to show you. I want to tell you how you should start your preparation, from where you can gather the interview questions, what should be your preparation, everything I need to discuss that tomorrow we'll do it, right?
Sir, will you send resumes now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
And so one more thing, sir, in tomorrow's session, please, we can do free goods later also, but can we put because this is a very good session and this is very important thing. So,
okay, then first we'll start with this. If we have time, we'll do it free goods. If not, we can cut.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Right? Okay, then. So see you all and catch up tomorrow. Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.